Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I go by Hiram or Bogwa. Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'll be going over how to create a custom exception. Now I've covered exceptions before. I've shown you how to catch exception using the try catch method. Custom exceptions are very useful, especially when it comes to creating an exception that's applicable to a business rule, and not just a business rule. It could apply to any special condition where you want to throw your own type of error to stop the execution. So with that, I've created this program where I'm reading the user input and I'm telling the user they should enter either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a custom exception that the application would throw anytime the user enters an invalid option. So with that, I'll go ahead and create a package. And then I'll create my custom exception class. Let me fix the spelling. There you go. So I'm calling this exception the invalid option exception. So in order for me to be able to utilize this class as an exception, I need to extend the exception class. So I'll go ahead and do that. And simply by doing that, I've converted this class into an exception. As we covered in the object-oriented series, anytime we extend a class, then we allow our class to take up that form. So in this instance, this invalid option exception class can also take up the form of an exception, because it is an exception since it extends an exception. And I'm going to add a constructor here. So in my constructor, I'm taking in the error message and I'm passing that up to the exception class. And if we go to the exception class, we can see how the constructors are. So as we see, we have a constructor that takes in a message, another one takes in a message and throwable, another one takes in a throwable. Now, as you can see, an exception extends throwable, and I'll show you in a second what throwable allows us to do. So I'll go ahead and write out the logic here to throw the exception. So here, as you can see, we check to see if the option is within the allowed options, and if it's not, we're gonna throw the invalid option exception. So what the throwable does is it allows us to throw this exception. Here we say throw, and then we instantiate that exception, so new. So this is similar to how you instantiate any class. So we're throwing that as an exception. Now anytime we throw an exception, we have to either have a try catch surrounding that code, or in our method we say it throws whatever exception it throws. So here what we're saying is this method does throw an error. It can throw an error, and this would be the error that it would throw. So it throws the invalid option exception. So I'll go ahead and run this and we can test it out. So I'm going to write 1, and that should not throw an exception. And as you can see, our application finishes just fine. I'll run it again, and I'll write 0. And there it is. Exception in thread main. and it tells us that the exception that was thrown was invalid option exception. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe if you haven't, and also check me out on Instagram at coderush.io.